Marion Willis is founder and director of St. Boniface Street Links. She says they now have more housing than people to occupy it. And she's with us in studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Marcy.
So how do you have the surplus of housing spaces?
Well, a few things. The loss of the Manitoba housing benefit has really impacted our ability to put people into private sector housing. That provided a really important rent top-up, which made private sector housing a lot more affordable for the average person. At this point, we're working a lot right now. We're really focused on encampments and trying to get people out and linked to housing. Some of the housing that we have might not be the best first stop for the people that are coming out of homelessness. And so that's the reason why we have we have some vacancies that we normally don't have. We've also really expanded our relationship with the private sector to strengthen those partnerships, really add to those partnerships. So we have a lot of housing coming online that hasn't actually been used in the past to support people coming out of homelessness.
So can you tell me a little bit about what you have coming online? Because we visited Dale, for example, in East Kildonan, and he lives in a bachelor's suite. It's attached to a number of others. And then there was like a horseshoe space. Is it right that you're going to be taking over like 50 spaces there this fall?
At least.
Okay.
As every unit becomes available in the horseshoe that you saw, which were single occupancy little bachelor places, we'll be taking those on. And there's a number of apartment blocks that are a part of that complex. And as suites become available, we'll be taking those on as well. So bit by bit.
So they might need actually some work even before somebody moves in. And so that might explain part of the surplus as well?
They're actually in really good shape. So it's not so much that. It's just people that are exiting and, getting ready for somebody new.
Are landlords and owners reaching out to you now, or is this a targeted strategy from your organization to say, okay, there's space in Winnipeg, we know there is, let's reach out to them?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. The partnership that we built with Sam for 259 Fountain has been really impactful. And it's been informative to those who are property owners within the private sector. They're looking at that model and saying, hey, maybe we have something more to offer. Maybe we could lower rents a little bit in exchange for having a service team in the building, because there's not the damages, there's not all the chaos sometimes that there would be if you're bringing people right off the street into housing, and in a building where there's no services. I mean, that really is the magic medicine. It's having security in a building. It's having staff on site so that you really are working with individuals and addressing their needs coming in and developing a plan for what it looks like going forward.
So let's talk about that for a moment, because I know that the way you frame this is to make it successful in your view, you have to ask what do people need, which we've long been asking. But you also say you have to ask what is the space need, what does the house need?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about? Like what is needed on site for the
Pretty
space?
much, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at Fountain, you guys support Street Links pays actually for the security and such.
We do.
Yeah. How sustainable is it if you take on all these properties and then have to?
Yeah, well, I have to tell you, it's been the public that's made this possible. I mean, we are a registered charity, and the donor support from the public has been exceptional, and I hope that keeps coming because we're not funded by government or any level of to do this. But the donor support keeps coming in. We had that one donor last year that designated $2.5 million to St. Boniface Street Links over 5 years. That kind of money becomes a bit of a game changer for us. And so it's really where you choose to put your money.
I want to walk through the people we met a little bit and talk about what their plans are. But I do want to ask what you say to someone who might be listening and feels that putting a person into a space that is older or maybe even had previously been shuttered, you know what I mean? Or in a tougher part, maybe the city doesn't offer someone a way forward, that we can do better. What's your response to that?
Well, you know what? I would just say go camp out on the riverbank in a tent for a while and realize you have no place to store food. You have no place to use there's no bathroom facilities. There's no dignity. There's no safety living outside in encampments. Bringing people in, even sometimes in something that would be considered very low barrier, it's a place to start. oftentimes we house people, visit the next day and feel like you're walking into an indoor encampment. It takes a little while for people to relearn those skills and what it really takes to move inside and to make that transition. Once people are out of survival mode, we really work to move people up and out and into better housing. We've lost a lot of our low barrier housing in the city. A lot of it has been shuttered for various reasons. And that's why we have so many people outside. I can tell you that the people at Waterfront, the people along the Assiniboine, people that have been out there for a while, they're all people from the Adnock. They were off the riverbank. They were into the Adnock.
That's an apartment building.
Yeah, and then the Adnock was shuttered, and now they're back out there again. It becomes really, really difficult to work with people when that is their experience with housing. It makes far more sense for us to find a way to work supportively with property owners and try to look at this through the lens that they look through, and rather than shuttering buildings, find a way to work with people. So create the win-win-win.
There's a whole bunch of different approaches going on right now. I want to just lean into the people that we met through your organization. So we met Dale, and then we met Caden, Anna, and Gina. So the Fountain property, what does support look like there? I understand you guys are offering like cooking and skills now.
Yeah, really depends on who's there at the time, but it's linking people to food security, getting people set up with food banks. It's
you guys
taking
making
people.
Soup this weekend?
We're making soup. It's like finding, sourcing garden produce. Right now it's summer and people are harvesting. It's about teaching cooking, teaching just some light housekeeping skills, getting people, kind of organized, mapping out what life looks like forward. Are we going back to school? Are we, just looking for other housing? We mental health supports. All of that is provided in-house. And by the time the people are ready to move out and transition into other housing, they become very stable, good candidates for very good housing.
And I know you're following through with Dale as well.
Yes.
He needs some medical supports. I want to ask you about Caden and Anna, because this is interesting. So Caden and Anna actually have moved from Fountain. They were in there for a short period of time. You're continuing to support them, I understand. Where is Caden now?
Yeah, so again, it's all that care planning when people come into Fountain. What Caden really needed was recovery. And so Caden, pardon me, has now moved on to Moorbrick House, where he's entered long-term recovery. He's been there for a little while now, and he's doing fabulously. His partner, Anna, faced a little more of a personal crisis, and she's moved back home with her father. We're in touch.
So you're still following through?
We'll continue. We never close our files. We'll continue to follow long-term with both these individuals.
I think it's interesting only because it shows how individual everything is and the follow-through. But some people might also be saying it shows that maybe it's too quick. Like, how do you know if someone's ready to move? And then if they move to a space, then move elsewhere in a couple of weeks, do you still count that as a successful connection? It's difficult to measure success. How do you view that?
I'm going to say that the opposite of everything dark in life is actually connection. And so whenever you can connect with individuals and you can offer them something and they accept that no matter what it is, you begin to form that relationship. So I would suggest to you that the very fact that they're not on the riverbank anymore, one's in recovery, the other one is transitioning through lots of different things right now, and that we continue to have that connection. They have connections with their families now. Those are very, very good outcomes. Don't always measure your outcomes based on the fact that somebody's living at a particular address, and is staying for X amount of time. It's really about personal growth and understanding people's needs and finding a way to meet those needs.
Thank you for being here, and also thank you for helping us and make the connections to meet the individuals we're talking about with their permission. By the way, I think that's important. We're not sitting here talking about people's lives without having met them and understood, where they're coming from first. We'll talk again.
Thank you, Marcy.
That is Marion Willis, founder and director of St. Boniface Street Links. Still to come in our series, we will have a closer look at some of the other organizations working to end homelessness, and we're also going to look at the provincial strategy against the idea that we do not have enough space right now in the city in terms of new builds coming online. My interviews with the mayor and with the premier will resume in a couple of weeks for our fall session.